Imagine you're in a room with someone who seems like you're a soulmate, or perhaps the perfect mentor, or a best friend who just gets you. They agree with every word you say, they mirror your energy, and they make you feel like the sun rises and sets on your presence. But 6 months later, the landscape has shifted. You find yourself apologizing for things you didn't do, doubting your own memory of events that happened yesterday, and feeling like a hollow shell of the vibrant person you used to be. You didn't just stumble into this mess. You were not just unlucky. You were strategically selected. Manipulation is not just meant behavior or a bad mood. It's a highly calculated psychological game. It's an architecture of control that relies on your best qualities, your high empathy, your bottomless patience, and your innate desire to see the good in people. The manipulator doesn't hate you. They are simply harvesting you. A common myth is that manipulators target the weak. This couldn't be further from the truth. Predators don't hunt prey that has nothing to offer. They target the strong, the high achievers, the healers, and the fixers. They look for the people with porous boundaries but high resources. This is the scouting phase. The first tool is love bombing. This is a massive concentrated dose of validation designed to bypass your stranger danger instincts. They flood your nervous system with dopamine and oxytocin by telling you things like, "I never met anyone as brilliant as you," or "It feels like we'd known each other for lifetimes." This is not love. It's a dopamine debt. They are building a pedestal for you to stand on, knowing exactly when they plan to kick it out from under you. When you eventually fall, you will spend the rest of the relationship trying to get back up to that pedestal. Then comes mirroring. This is a sophisticated psychological technique where they study your vulnerabilities, your past traumas, and your deepest values, then they reflect them back at you. If you value honesty, they will pretend to be a paragon of truth. If you've been hurt by an ex, they will promise to be the healer. You are not falling in love with them. You are falling in love with a curated reflection of yourself. This creates a bond so strong that later, when they start hurting you, your brain literally refuses to believe the evidence of your eyes. During this phase, they also use boundary testing. They might accidentally show up uninvited or ask a deeply personal question too soon. If you laugh it off or apologize for their intrusion, you've just told them that your fence is easy to climb. They are not looking for a partner. They are looking for a host. Once you're emotionally invested, the mask begins to slip. But the master manipulator never drops the mask all at once. They let it crack slowly so you think you are the one breaking it. This is where cognitive dissonance sets in, the agonizing state of holding two complex beliefs. This person is my soulmate, and this person is destroying me. Here are the tools they use to win that internal war. Gaslighting. This is the systemic attempt to make you doubt on your own sanity. Imagine you catch them in a lie. Instead of apologizing, they say, "You are remembering that wrong," or "You always had a vivid imagination." They're not just lying, they're overwriting your software. Over time, you stop trusting your own senses and start relying on their version of the truth. You begin to ask them, "Did I have a good time today?" Because you no longer know. Intermittent reinforcement. This is the most dangerous psychological tool in existence. They are cruel 90% of the time, but the 10% of old affection is delivered at random intervals. This creates a trauma bond. It's the same reward system that keeps people pulling the lever on the slot machine. You think, if I just stay quiet, if I just cook the right dinner, I can get that person from the first month back. You become addicted to the ghost of the person they never actually were. The silent treatment. This triggers the social rejection. Centers in your brain, the same centers that process physical pain. By withdrawing all communication, they force you into a state of fun response, where you will do anything, apologizing for anything, just to make the silence stop. It's a way of training you like a lab rat. Triangulation. They will bring a third party into your dynamic, an ex, a perfect coworker, or even a child. They'll say, Sarah thinks I'm right about this. Or, why can't you be more like your brother? This forces you into a competition for the manipulator's approval, keeping you so busy fighting Sarah that you forget to hold the manipulator accountable for their behavior. To understand the why, you have to look at the dark triad: narcissism, Machiavellianism, and psychopathy. While not every manipulator is a clinical psychopath, they all utilize these traits. The currency they deal is in because these individuals often have an empty, hollow core. They cannot generate their own sense of self-worth. They need to eat your emotions to feel alive. If they make you cry, they are powerful. If they make you beg, they are superior. Your emotional distress is their proof of existence. They also use projective identification. This is truly dark. They take the parts of themselves they hate, their insecurity, their shame, their dishonesty. They treat you like a liar until you start acting defensive and secretive. Then they point at you and say, "See, I knew you were the dishonest one." They use you as a psychological trash can for the parts of themselves they can't face. When the manipulator has drained you of your supply, when you are too exhausted, too broke, or too depressed to be useful, the discard happens. It is often cold, sudden, and lacks any closure. They leave you like a piece of trash because, to them, you were an object, not a person. But it doesn't always end there. If you try to move on and find happiness, they may attempt to hoover you back in. Named after a vacuum cleaner, this is when they reappear months later with a fake apology or a crisis that only you can solve. They do this because they run out of supply elsewhere and want to see if they still own you. Don't be fooled. The Hoover is just the first step of a new cycle of abuse. Knowledge is the only shield. Once you see the strings, the puppet master loses their power. The magic was always an illusion based on your willingness to believe in their goodness. Now that you know how the trick is done, you can never be fooled the same way again.